The Fred DeSarro story, you can find that on YouTube. Everyone get a chance to see it?
Yes.
So speaking of people
Be gentle.
being interviewed, no, I thought the interviews were great, and I don't know, I really had a great affinity for his wife. I thought she was so.
Yeah, she was the best.
Yeah, I mean the strength that it takes to sit there and go through. And it seemed like it was probably somewhat cathartic for her.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
healing.
Her,
She had great insights, and I loved her stories.
yeah, it kind of doesn't work if she wasn't going to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
She was really the key. And I knew when I first reached out to her and talked to her on the phone, because she lived in Florida, so the whole family lives there in Florida. And you can just tell right away if people are going to be a good interview or not, and you can just tell. I think if you remember at the end, I called her out on the fact that she still talks about him in the first person.
I picked up on that,
Yeah, in the
too.
present tense.
A lot of emotion still, not
Yeah.
just from her. Everybody that you interviewed,
Everyone, yeah.
it's like he passed away 5 years ago.
Yeah.
78, right?
Yep.
I mean,
We were
like
5.
you could feel the emotion. The emotion, like I felt like I knew him, and you know that I was part of this crew.
You just tell he was a great guy, and everyone liked him.
Yeah.
And I don't,
Sad.
Like I said, I don't know much about racing. I'm really into it, but I was captivated by the.
Same here.
The
I
doc.
don't. Yes, I don't. I know nothing about racing,
Yeah.
and
And you did a great
I
job.
enjoyed it.
I appreciate that.
So I love you. We've been boys forever. I know that you're talented. After I watch this, I'm like, how the hell did he do that?
Thanks. I guess that's a compliment.
I'm like, this was phenomenal.
It was.
You have to be lucky because, like I said, if his wife is not invested in the project and isn't who she is and so open on the camera, it's a completely different project that's probably not as good.
Yeah.
So you get lucky.
His son as well. His son that you
Yeah.
interviewed.
And I don't think either of the sons wanted to be. What I learned there, when I went down there for a week, and I didn't get their interviews. I was there from Monday to Saturday, and I didn't get their interviews until Saturday. And I did Linda's at like 5 o'clock. Sorry, I did Gary's at 5. His took an hour, and then I did Linda's from like 6 to 9, and then I left. Yeah, so when Gary came in, it was like really last minute. I'd never met him before, and he came in, and I had it all set up. She was like, he'll be here at 6 or whatever the time was, and he came in the door. I said, hey, Gary, what's up? Sid DiMaggio. Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. Have a seat. Let's get going. He says, okay. And I just prayed that it was going to be good, and he was good. He got emotional talking about it, and he had a line in there that when his dad died, and he said there was a lot of figuring out life by yourself, and like I can totally relate to that. Matter of fact, at one point we took a break, and his mom went in the other room, and because I had gone to, so my dad was not around when I was a kid, and I reconnected with him later in life, and he lived in Florida at this animal sanctuary, and while I was down there, I made the 3-hour trip across state to go visit that place. Now he's passed away, but the person that runs it still knew my dad, and so that was a little kind of personal side thing for me. So, but I was talking to him about that. Like he had just said that in an answer, and I said, yeah, man, I can totally relate to that. And that kind of, even though we kind of were in the hard stuff already, they kind of loosened them up a little bit more. And that, as we were talking about, like that guy Bugsy, who that guy Bugsy is a really famous racer in these areas, and he just passed away. That's I'm pretty sure that's the last interview of him on camera. And by the time that I was finished and released it, he was already in a nursing home. And somebody went there with an iPad to show it to him, and they sent me a picture. I don't know who sent it to us. I don't know if I can find it. But it's basically him with the iPad in his hand, like giving a thumbs up that he liked it, which I thought was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I recognized him. I didn't know who he was, but I recognized his face from when I was watching the documentary.
Wow.
Like, I know I've seen this guy. They were characters. You could tell he wasn't like, like a softie, right? He wasn't like one of those emotional guys, but you could see, you just got the sense of how much this man meant to them. What a great guy he was through everything they had to say. Nobody, I mean, unless you didn't put it in the doc, but it didn't seem like anybody had a negative word to say about him.
No, I didn't come across anybody who did. Nope. How about the guy Gomer that was on the scene as well? and was just kind of this unassuming guy. And he was just kind of like, we all had a job to do. And I remember, so his name's Bruce. And I was like, where'd you get the nickname Gomer? And he's like, well, there used to be this show, Gomer Pyle. And I was like, oh, yeah, you sound just like him. Yeah. He's actually a nice guy. I just saw him a little bit ago.
It's crazy that happened on a practice run.
Yeah, and the track there is, again, I don't want to say a million, but a ton of cars crashed that way. And it was just, there was no safety back then. So it was, if you just hit the wrong way, it was over,
Well, and they were talking about how many cars they watch do that.
Yeah.
And then the sand bogs it down and they don't go up over it like that. So it did seem like it was sort of a freak thing.
Yeah.
The eerie thing I thought was the whole comparison to Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Same number.
Yep.
Same type of crash. People were like,
Yeah.
at first like, oh, and then like, oh no.
Well, there is. I mean, that's true, but there's actually there's a handful. Actually, Richie Evans, the guy that's on this painting here, he died at a crash in Martinsville, and there's a safety feature now called the Hans device that it basically is a neck restraint that you wear in between your fire suit and your helmet, and if Dale Earnhardt, Richie Evans, or Fred DeSarro were wearing that, they all probably would have survived. So, but sadly, it took until Dale Earnhardt did it on a national stage before they actually made it kind of mandatory.
Crazy.
I got just a couple other little side notes from the production. If you remember, there was two guys that I interviewed. The backdrop was like a little country lake.
Yeah, that was fake, right? Like a green screen?
No, that was real.
I kept going back and forth.
No,
Is that
real.
a green screen?
So the guy on the left was Dick Berggren. Now, he's from this area, but he was the NASCAR pit reporter on Fox for like many, many years. And the other one is the guy Bones Boursier. Let me see if I can show it to you.
That's the guy that was the teenage reporter, right?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
And and he well, the guy gave him a compliment like, hey,
yeah, that's at the end. Yeah. So
Fred gave him the compliment.
So that's
like,
another good thing, right? So he was probably 16 when Fred died, and Linda, the widow, kept saying, "Why do you want to have Bones? Like he was not around when Freddie raced." And I said, "Linda, you just need to trust me." I'm like, I've interviewed Bones before. He's a great storyteller, and I'm like, he's not going to be the narrating force on this, but just trust me. And
that was a very touching story.
Yeah. And I knew that he was going to say, just like that thing of like, he gave me words of encouragement, and that made me feel like $1 million. And he also, one of the books he wrote about was Bugsy, so he could speak about Bugsy because Bugsy was he was at an advanced age. Like I didn't get the classic Bugsy. It was tough to get a lot of good sound bites out of him. And the other thing I wanted to mention was the poem at the end that she reads. She gave me that. She had a ton of scrapbooks. That's the first few days that I spent. Was I went to her house. She gave me all these scrapbooks with pictures and photos. I went back to my Airbnb and scanned them all, and then I brought them back the next day. Like the first 3 days, I was just scanning media. But anyways, she showed me that poem. And I just thought, oh, that's a nice poem, And then I'm at the Airbnb scanning it, and I was just reading it, and I was like, it just came to me. I'm like, oh shit, if she can read this to me, that's the end right there. If she reads this to me, and then I do a little montage over it, and she did that in one take.
She was phenomenal,
and she crushed it.
She was great,
and she crushed it. And you immediately know, like, okay, that's the end of the piece right there. Yeah.
What's her reaction to the doc?
She was like guarded. She definitely liked it, but she was.
If that was my father, or like a relative, I'd be honored. I'm like, that's like a love letter to his life. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So
it was a beautiful tribute.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
I felt like I wanted. Yeah, I wanted to know more about him when I started watching it. I was hearing all the stories from everybody. Wow, that sounds like a great guy. And I thought it was really well done.
Well, I appreciate that. I think that part of it, it was a challenge because I didn't know him, and B, it's from he died when I was 5. I didn't. My aunt and uncle didn't even take me to a racetrack. The first time I went to a racetrack was '82, so I didn't even really remember any of this. But I think the fractured relationship I had with my dad helped me in making this because I could relate to the like wanting to say goodbye or wanting to tell a story that I didn't really know much about, kind of thing. I don't know, just that was kind of in my DNA. And I also love the challenge of telling the story, especially about Stafford and Thompson, which are still tracks that are around today, but they're a lot different. Like if you go to Thompson now, like they don't have sandbanks. It's a totally different track. It's actually the circle track is now really just a part of a larger road course. So you have to explain to people like Preston's age or like you guys who don't know racing that Thompson was a lot different back then. You can't just say he died in a crash at Thompson and went over the sandbanks. If you went to Thompson today, you'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? There's no sandbanks here. So you kind of have to recreate that picture. Same with the wreck he had at Stafford when he flips over. That was a violent wreck. He only stubbed his toe. Like Stafford now has trees all around it. Like he would have never crashed like that then. So I like the challenge of kind of recreating just how much that it's changed, in the last 50 years. So anyways, that's cool. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it, even though it was racing.
It's better than Titan.
Wow. All right. I'll take that.
All right. Did I see the music was Fry?
Oh.
No. So John Freeze he does my Sid's View stuff. No, when it comes to the documentaries, I use, there's a ton of sites now where you can get affordable music. Yeah.
I was just
But
wondering.
I did pick up on his song.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
In
there
the very,
beginning.
I do that thing in the beginning where I explain.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's John's music. Yes,
Okay,
that's
all
correct.
right.
Yep, I forgot about that. Yeah, On the Inside, I believe that song's called.
Yeah,
All right.
I have the CD.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's good.
All right. Nice. Yeah, John has actually always been very cool with letting me use his music. But when it comes to the doc, I think I use like 23 different pieces of music in that. Yeah. And so it adds up. It costs like about a couple $1,000s.
Yeah, you played music almost through the whole thing. I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's
like
back.
music, but
It's
I feel like it
driving.
helps tell the story along. Yeah, yep, for sure.